getting started today, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers to the channel. If you actually decide to tune in and listen to the podcast, hopefully you enjoy the content. It's very random. Well, henceforth, it's a kind of a play on the name of the channel. So hopefully you enjoy the content, and thank you once again. Today's episode is also brought to you by Webb's Barbershop, which is brought to you out of Lebanon, Tennessee. So feel free to scan the QR code on the screen and book you an appointment if you're ever going through that area. All right, thank you and enjoy the program.
And welcome to the WTB, the What You Talking About podcast. And I'm your host, Mike McKenna. I'm here with the three Halls, and I ain't talking about cough drops. I'm here with super duper producer Jalen Hall, producing the new beats on the intro, Gregory Hall, and also Gary Hall. And today we're going to go ahead and start reacting to a video with the Daily Wrap-Up crew with Dr. Umar, where he was discussing, could you be pro-black and date outside your race? And we're going to go ahead and start with the video now.
Had a lot of conversations with people about this topic, a lot of heated debates. People want to know, can you be pro-black and date outside your race?
Absolutely not.
And I got my good brother right here, who's an advocate, and he says that you can be pro-black and date outside.
Impossible. You cannot. Marriage is a business. When you get married, you commit your mind, your body, your heart, your soul, and your pocketbook. Your savings, your estate, your wealth. You commit that to that person you're married to. See, when you marry, you don't marry an individual. You marry into a race. You marry into a community. So I didn't marry a Jewish woman. I married into Jewish society. I didn't marry an Asian woman. I married into an Asian family. There's no way you can claim to love black people, especially as a black man, knowing that only 1 out of every 4 black women will get married in her lifetime. And if you care about the black community, you got to care about saving the black family, because the family is the essential institution of a community. And the only way you can save a family is to build a family. You can only build a family with a black woman. Absolutely not. You cannot talk black and sleep white. And why would the original man want a member of the race that enslaved and dehumanized you to carry your seed? Why would I, after the rape and the lynching and the slavery and the Willie Lynch and the Jim Crow and the police brutality and the economic apartheid and the gentrification and the AIDS and the Ebola, the West Nile, the COVID, the genetics, the eugenics, why would I want to take my original seed, God's seed, and put it in a cave-dwelling organism? Why would I want to do that?
Yeah, we need to hear you, brother.
The mic is yours, Ace.
Yeah.
I want to incubate my son, my daughter, in the womb of the people who have destroyed my people in this world.
Out there, but
and they hate you just as much.
But what I'm saying, all right. So you said yourself earlier that there are black people among us that are not for us.
True.
So with that being said, there are people of other races that are more for us than there are our people.
Describe for us, please.
When you go to protests for black rights and police brutality and stuff, and you see other races that out there and there are black people that would never be caught out there. You know what I mean?
Okay. So because an Asian,
I'm just go ahead.
Or a Caucasian showed up for a George Floyd march,
right?
That means they give a shit about black people.
I'm just saying.
Let me ask you this. According to the Pew Research, they said 1 in 5 protesters during the George Floyd protest was black.
Okay.
4 out of 5 were non-black.
Right.
At least 3 out of the 4 were white. So the George Floyd protests were mostly white people. Okay. If white people care that much about black folks, why didn't that woman who got Emmett Till murdered, why was she never arrested? If white people care that much about black life, why all these police that's going around killing black folks are not being held accountable? If white people care that much about black life, why don't we see it in the political and economic realities of black people?
Facts.
You know why they showed up to the George Floyd march?
Why?
To dissipate the power of black people and to redirect the focus of those marches. White people outnumber black people 5-1. So if you let them in, they automatically take control by virtue of their numbers and redirect it. And so Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic Party, turned the George Floyd march into a damn celebration for Joe Biden votes in the Democratic Party. We got nothing out the march whatsoever because we let it get diluted.
Right.
You have to keep it all black. The minute you let white people in, because you can't control how many join. There's more of them than us here. You can't control how many join. So the minute you let them in, they now have the power to remake this into whatever they want. And because most Negroes who participated in the George Floyd March made it multicultural, every time we get on the microphone, this is not just about black people. I'm so tired of hearing that shit.
It is, though.
Everywhere
it is
you
about
go,
us.
it is about us.
Yes.
But if you notice, when it's about us, it can't be about us.
Yeah. Can't just
See,
be about us.
when the Mexicans shut down the highways in California, nobody tried to multiculturalize that. You understand me?
You're not welcome here.
Absolutely. This is our thing.
Yeah.
When the European Jews, this is our thing.
Yeah.
But soon when black people do it, we got to multiculturalize it, do what? Kill the focus of it.
Sometimes I think we get caught up as if it's like, what are we? See, we are we don't have what I would call, like white Americans, they say, we're Americans, this is America, you know, and in truth, we're
Americans.
We're Americans. So it's like, so if we have an issue, it shouldn't be it should be a human issue. Even though it's a black issue, you know, it's happened to, but it should be a American issue.
Yeah.
And then America should take care of it. You see what I'm saying? So if we separate ourselves and we become black Americans, now the fight, it diminishes. It's just like I said, as soon as they get to start showing a whole bunch of white folks, just like they show the black folks getting beat up and shot and killed by the police, it will be a little bit more outrage. They just don't show it. They don't advertise that. That's because it's common. But when you see a black getting beat by a white cop, it just does something to you.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
It's triggering.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It does something to you. Now, it doesn't do nothing for a white person to see a white cop whoop a white person.
It's just an unfortunate tragedy.
Yeah. It's just cops. It's just cops.
It's just like, man, that's just,
It's cops. It's just cops. Because they don't get prosecuted for killing them. They don't get no time off the desk when they go out there and beat 3 or 4 of them little white kids up. It's a move on.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't talk about it.
Well, they don't interview them either.
Right.
They don't go to their neighborhood.
No issue.
And a lot of it's probably financial too. You know, depending
most of
on
this war.
who.
No, it's not.
You can target your victims even being cops. You know, when people don't have anything.
No, it's not about.
They
not
don't have
having
nothing to fight back
you.
with. So
Then what is it?
in some cases, when you don't have nothing to fight back with, you pretty much gonna be a victim. And that's it. Don't matter what the case is. But like I said,
that's financial.
Yeah. When you were poor.
Because you said you didn't agree. He said financial.
No. What I was trying to tell him was about the, it does.
It's more to do with financial.
It's all to do with it has more to do. You're right. It has something to do with color because you cannot credit. You can't take a hate out of a person's heart by regulation.
It's classism.
So some people gonna be racist and do that. That's just a part of it. But most of it, like it's financial.
I mean, a lot of it.
Poor, you gonna get your ass whooped.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
A lot of times, yeah. They just usually don't mess with people who have money because they got.
I'm not gonna target somebody in a nice vehicle and look like they're actually doing good.
But I'm about to say that
dress
that's
well.
my point. It was
dress well. Then pull them out
that's
the car
you hear them,
and beat the brakes off
they
of them.
do that.
But then I know I'm gonna get sued.
No.
I'm finna get sued.
Yeah. Now I don't always hear about them always getting beat. But I do hear about them getting confronted a lot.
They might confront
them. Question. Now, I mean, a lot of the...
Honestly, it's about knowing your rights.
Yeah, if you know your rights, and I'm telling you, know your rights. Mm-hmm. Yelling is not knowing your rights.
Yelling idiocy is not knowing your rights. Knowing your rights, what they can and cannot do to you in a situation, you'll be better off.
Yeah,
you will be better off.
Because all you know is you just hold that against them.
Yeah, and you hold your rights because a road cop gonna be a road cop.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna, I don't care if you, whatever goes on, he just gonna be there. But if you know your rights, you can change some stuff.
Okay, but
immediately.
You're starting to steer very far away from what was going on here. Like,
but he was saying though.
Well, a lot of it's sort of like this. He keeps saying, well, whites, they destroyed us, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you sleep with the oppressor? The people who brought on, he mentioned Ebola, the plagues, all sorts of different things that really didn't have anything to do with modern day white people. Because, we're talking about today. He's talking about whites destroyed us. But even if you go back to the origin, we were sold. We were traded. They negotiated trade. That's why we ended up over here anyway. They negotiated with us. And they're like, yeah, you can take them. And so that's how we ended up here.
They can go.
Yeah. So that's,
For them quilts and them dang on bees.
Yeah. So, I hate to say it, but there's no accountability being held for them. We're not dating all the way back to Africa, trying to hold those people responsible for sending us over here.
I want to know when they're going to come get us.
Because, do you want to go? And I also want to know.
If they're going to come get us.
If they come to go get us, where are we going?
Yeah.
Hey,
I want to go to Nigeria.
They wondering when we coming back.
Hey, I want to go to Nigeria.
I don't think he points
it out. We waiting for them to come get us, and they wonder when we coming back.
I don't think he points it out on this video.
I wanted to say, how is Dr. Umar Johnson not akin to Hitler?
What do you mean?
What?
What? Because of what you're trying to say. I don't think he is advocating destroying the other race.
That's the only thing.
He's
not saying exterminate.
He's saying what you got to do to make your own race strong is to stay into your race.
Yeah.
Now he's encouraging them to stay into their race.
Like if you listen to him,
he's not trying to kill them.
No, because
he ain't trying to do that.
He believes in being able to get along with white people because quite frankly, that's who funded his school. So he knows and has to understand that you do have to be able to do business with these people and cordially move along your life. But he's just talking about procreating and moving along with the black agenda.
Right.
So
making growth.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that he preaches, I agree with. But there's also, then you dive in deeper to the person, you find out they're kind of a little scumbaggy, a little bit on the side and a little shady with the money and, not always following through on their word type of guy. And that's not really the best rep to have. Also, I did want to point out, he did make one point about Emmett Till. I'm like, dude, he was talking about BLM and all the white people that are out there supporting them. And then you got, why didn't the white woman confess and say the right thing about Emmett Till? Man, that happened how many years ago?
Man,
that's what I'm saying. Like, how many years ago?
Well, she just came forward within the last.
She died though, wasn't she?
No, she's alive. No, what they saying is she recently died.
But when she came forward with the charges, she was alive.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't matter what her age is. Why not lock her up?
Lied about this whole situation.
Yeah, and all this came
this guy, poor, and this 13, 14-year-old was mutilated.
Yeah. It's awful.
Yeah,
but, no.
And no one was ever accountable. No accountability.
And now confessing it seemed like light.
She just eased
by the way,
her heart. So maybe she might be able to get in there.
Not to be crazy, but is that different than say OJ on his dying bed said, "I did it for reals"?
If it's on his heart, and
what it'll do is free his soul.
Yeah,
like I'm saying,
that's what it did for her.
First,
but it
doesn't change what happened.
But she never even had to go to trial. See, OJ was found not guilty.
Yeah, I know. But
so he went before the people. The people found him not guilty.
Yeah.
So he can confess to it today and say I did it, and they couldn't do nothing.
No, but just saying it.
But the difference is. She didn't even have to
maybe OJ.
She never even had to come forward and face. Because, you got to think this mama know that this kid, her baby, and this woman lied. Everybody know it was a lie. And it was just nothing done. That's why I go back to how we supposed to get our reparation. That's wrong. You see what I'm saying? Somebody still should be able to get sued for that.
Which, I mean, he does bring up great points like that for why we deserve these things for the atrocities that took place.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and finish.
The focus of it.
Holding hands.
Nobody wants black people to be free, and they damn sure don't want you to be equal, and they definitely don't want you to have more than they do.
So let me help my good brother out, right? So some of the talking points when I do have these conversations with other black men or black women is that, you know, procreating is part of being pro-black, right? Procreating with another black person. So some people will say...
Before we get into that,
okay,
what would be your description of a pro-black person?
I hate the term pro-black.
Okay.
Because I never heard of a pro-Mexican or pro-Jew. This is how messed up we are. But for you to have to define a black person as pro-black, do you know what that means?
Right.
That automatically means by contraindication that most black people are anti-black. If I walk in and you say he's pro-black, because this is what people say when they see me, it'll be 1,000 blacks. He's pro-black. Do you know what you're saying about everybody else in here? They're fucking coons. We're the only people, we're the people who are for us are the minority. Think about that. But you have to describe people who care about black people as pro-black. No other group has to do that. And it speaks to how much most of us are anti ourselves.
I don't necessarily think that means you're anti-black, because usually when I think of the word pro, usually is the most extreme of something, right? This is why we got pro-life and everything else. When you put pro in front of something, that means the most extreme. I think people confuse being proud to be black with being pro-black. I think people are proud to be black.
I don't see how one could exist without the other.
What?
If I'm proud to be black, I'm pro-black. I'm for my people.
Yeah, but some people might say, like, when you look up the definition, it might say only supporting black-owned businesses or only to support everything all black.
It will be impossible to only buy from black people because we don't manufacture and sell everything that somebody needs in order to survive. For me, pro-black means always putting the best interests of my people first in any situation or any decision that I have to make.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying? You ain't got to be you ain't got to be a black superhero, but I'm going to put my people's interests above anything else in front, above the church, above the mosque, and above other minority groups. My people come first. That's all it means to me. And you ain't got to be extreme with it. You understand me? So people see me when I walk out on the streets, white people will stop and talk. Arabs will stop and talk. I got people who follow my work of every race, and I will respect them as human beings. But when it comes to the struggle, none of your interests matter before my own people, because my people's interests will never matter before yours.
All right, so the main point I wanted to get to on what he was talking about is near the end when he was talking about, bless you, he did make a really good point when he was talking about when people want to say that they want to go all pro-black or we're going to buy all black or I'm going to deal with only black-owned businesses. It's not realistic because we just, like I said, we don't produce everything. You're going to eventually have
small minority in the country. You know what I'm saying? It's only so much that it can be possible to do with only black. But like he said, it's being like my people is first. You know, I got all, like you say, all kinds of friends of all kinds of nationalities, but my people still first. You see what I'm saying? I'm cool with you, but my people still first.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm always gonna fight for my
people. I'm just going to. I'm going to always fight for blacks. I'm going to in a way that I'm always going to look at us as being just like everybody else. We can have just as great of people and just as bad of people. Right. That's it. I feel like a lot of us, we're all the same, just based on percentages, location, poverty, whatever you're dealing with in your life, circumstances that are there. At least that's how I view it. And I think a lot more people definitely view it, and especially in like Jay's generation. A lot of people, it's just kind of like, hey man, I grew up next to this person. They a person. They equal just like me. I bleed the same color, all the same.
And that's why I always say we are probably 150, maybe 200 years away from some situation where really it's and it's not gonna really be about color. It's gonna really circumstance to what it really is.
Finding a lot of it right
rich
now
and poor. That's what it's gonna be.
Well, I mean, it seems like
it's a lot of color right now.
It's color, but also
we a long way because they
financial.
still here.
When you talking about finances. a lot of that is injected into whatever you may see across the board. It can be labeled as racism, but sometimes financially you put in a situation where you can be judged or put in a certain situation. You know what I'm saying? It's like with the police and stuff like that. Like I said, pretty much you can be targeted. They know who to mess with, not to mess with, you know, in your situation. So your neighborhood pretty much could dictate that, all that. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, sometimes they, you know, like in a very few rare circumstances where they don't know who they're messing with, they screw up. And then, that guy's in a heap of trouble. I mean, but how often do you really hear about that? I mean, it's very rare. Yeah. Somebody can threaten them and be like, well, I'm a lawyer. Well, they still get away with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, and like I said, it's really not about race. It's just about who's there, the situation. What's the area? Who lives there? I mean, where bad things happen, unfortunately, sometimes it's a lot of minorities.
Bad things happen in disenfranchised places.
Which now a lot of people sadly are starting to say are all the liberal places, which man, it's hard to debate it. Because when you look at it, all the places that struggle, they bleed blue when it comes to crime.
But it's like it's a setup.
It is.
To me, it's some kind
like it.
Yeah, it's like because you can.
Well, it feels like it at least.
Right. It does because it's got to be some kind of setup.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not gonna say we all know politics,
right? Because I know they do. I done seen the South Dakota news at 5 on my cable, right?
Yeah,
and they got some crazy stuff going on, and it ain't no black folks over there like that doing that.
No, I mean they had murders take place in Idaho.
Yeah,
with the college.
The college, but they killing it. It's all on Good Morning America. So that's what I'm saying. This stuff, you know. Now, this Chicago stuff, the shootings up in Chicago, that's a little too much. What's going on in Nashville?
Didn't they say like 43 people?
44 people were shot. Actually, they said up to like 50, I think. Yeah, over Memorial Day weekend. Were shot. Not all of them died. Day. Just
the
over
whole
the weekend.
Oh, the weekend.
That's just a lot of people.
That's 3 days.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's...
Well, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Mostly the 3 days.
Yeah.
Up to 50 people shot.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
Okay.
I mean, that's just a lot of people. That's just dangerous, man. Like, I'm sorry, but none of that makes it seem attractive to want to move to that city.
No.
Like, I'm just.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you.
Makes it seem attractive to want to move to certain parts of.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Now
because I'm about to say, because in the go around that stuff,
you good.
Chicago,
that's in the area.
It is. It's certain areas, just like
it's
Nashville.
Like certain areas.
Yeah, it is certain areas.
Yeah, it's just like Nashville. There's certain areas that aren't good, and there's certain areas that's great.
Where the stuff happens at.
You already know where it's at. Sort of like when I worked downtown, and they used to ask, like, some people walk by, so like, is it safe to walk out at night? I was like, yeah, it's great. It's safe to walk out downtown. Just depends on where you're going. Don't wander too far east.
Okay, let me check this out. Check this out.
Once you don't go past that Tiger Market by the Titan Stadium.
Yeah.
Now speaking of that, now like speaking of that, right?
Don't even go there.
Like speaking of that, like you say, certain areas were big targets for violence. Certain things kicked off now we live in I'm gonna say a medium size. We just became a metropolitan. You know what I'm saying? Murfreesboro pretty much just became a metropolitan, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna say 10 years ago, it was a nice, small city, and little things happened and stuff was happening. And then you remember we went through a spurt when they put all them new apartments over there by the college and all.
When they redid King's Crossing,
that started,
That was gang.
When they redid King's Crossing,
they did that. They
the Chariots Point.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff was happening down that road.
Tara's Place and all that.
Yeah, in the back road on the other side of that.
But they had put all those college apartments over there, right?
Yeah,
and then now where they put them at was in a section that was somewhat, I would say, was least desirable to live in.
Well, yeah,
in Murfreesboro, right? So this is where they put them at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice ones. They went through the killing spree, right? I'm telling you, they went through a killing spree.
Unfortunately, yeah, people
they did. I'm telling you, where they started killing people were getting killed over them in the neighborhood. So now, what done happened within this 10-year period, right?
Yeah,
they done cleared it out a little bit, got a lot of the less desirables out of there. Mm-hmm. A new breed of people is moving in. Do you know what else they did? They put a Starbucks a quarter mile away from the neighborhood.
Hey,
so, okay, I'm telling you.
Okay,
walking distance.
Hey,
they say
upgrade.
Walking distance.
It might be the absolute worst one to work at.
Yeah.
No.
I know. I'm
just saying. In the beginning of the mindset.
Yeah.
Now, they have changed the whole look of that neighborhood.
Well, that's the whole point. Well, some people would call it gentrification, but I
didn't want to say that.
I know, but at a point, is it just gentrification? Because I mean, really, it's just at a point where, like, okay, I know, unfortunately, there's a lot of blacks that stay there, and I'm not trying to.
It was disunfortunate.
Yeah, but it's like, but that's who's there.
Yeah.
And these are places, and the same thing happens with the trailer parks. Eventually,
that's what I'm saying. The trailer parks too, they destroy. You ought to see that whole land. You remember what Siegel used to be? What Siegel at?
Yeah.
And them houses that used to be trailer parks.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came through there and dozed all them and put $300,000-$400,000 houses.
Trailer park.
Houses.
Oh, my fault.
That ain't no trailer park no more.
Okay, I was checking.
No, I mean, but they do. They just smooth it all out, man, and they just start over.
Right.
I mean, that was a whole bunch of really poor white people that lived over there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and
now it's one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the city. You see what I'm saying? They bulldozed it.
Yeah.
Got rid of
You know what they did? They pushed all the poor whites, all the poor blacks, they all pretty much putting them on the outskirts of town. Now, see, people don't be paying attention to stuff. See, Rover, the bus system, right? When they first started, the bus system just rolled around town, right? Yeah. Because who uses the bus?
Yeah,
usually people in the inner city.
But it's increased.
Right. They used it. They was doing the riding in it, right? So they can get over here, get over there.
Because there's a lot more people who just don't have cars.
Right. So now they done pushed all of them in the outskirts, right?
Yeah.
Now Rover go damn near to Lebanon.
I mean, no,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they expanded out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wherever it damn near to Franklin.
I mean,
you see what I'm saying? And it only started right here because that's where all the disunfortunate people was living was in town.
And they were only going to certain places.
Yeah, that was
around town.
That's it.
That was it.
Yeah, now Rover everywhere. Rover go to the mall.
Yeah.
It'll take you to Memphis.
Yeah. It'll take you to the bus so you can get on the bus to go to Memphis.
Like, I ain't got nothing to do. I just roll you up to Memphis, dog.
No, people, they only roll.
They said we can't do that because we are busy.
They have pushed him out.
He done decided on his own. He don't go to Memphis.
But like,
they have pushed him out to the outskirts, and now that's what the deal was. They had to still provide for them to get around, and that's why I expanded Rover.
Well, it's just wild to me because like the economy is exploding in certain places, they say. But the thing is really just rent's really high in most of these inner cities where they keep rebuilding everything and making it really nice. And a lot of these people still can't afford to live there. I mean, because you still can't get rid of all the people that previously lived there and bring in a whole bunch of rich people who can afford it. You just can't. Because inevitably, guess what happens? When you bring
run out of that stuff.
You run out of it. And also those people who come in, they pay more money for these things because they had more money because the economy they came from was bigger. So they paid more there. They had more money and capital. That's why they go to cheaper places to live. Then they market up all the prices in that city, and then it becomes just the same as the places they were before.
Left. Yeah, because that's what happened. Like all the California people, they came up when they put Nissan up in Franklin. I think it was up there.
It was the In-N-Out that did it.
In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
No, it was Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Whataburger's here. In-N-Out's on the way.
Yeah.
We need Roscoe's chicken and waffles.
It's coming.
It'll be here eventually.
But that's what I'm saying. They came from California where a 2-bedroom, it was almost expensive to live in California house and a New York apartment.
Man, what's messed up? It'd be a shame if like Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles came here and it was dangerous too. Like if you walked in, like if Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, if it was
they
dangerous,
gonna put it where it need. They will put it. It wouldn't even. Hey, you wouldn't even want to go if it was in Brentwood. You see what I'm saying?
No, you're gonna
put it right here in Murfreesboro because they bring it out.
Put it in Brentwood. I guarantee you they can.
But
put it in
gonna have to put it near the projects.
Why?
Because of the. I'm telling you.
Have you been to Brentwood?
Some parts of it.
Well,
No.
Hey, Greg, there ain't no projects over there.
Oh no, you're right. Not no more.
Yeah, there were.
Hey, excuse me, not no more.
They're gone.
They was there too because I remember.
Always
because I remember taking the dude over there to him one time. That's how I know. And then, like I said, but then they put up a row of apartments, look like the Dubai skyline out there in Franklin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus H. Christ, where's all these people coming from?
What do the police?
They live on the outskirts. They live on the.
And what is that?
Like over there, woods. Way over there, in Casey Lane, like back up in the back of
Woodbury.
Out way out there.
Woodbury.
Like
so they all out in what?
In what?
In some trailers?
No, they got apartments. They had to build up apartments.
Just build up.
But they can afford to actually get homes.
Joe B. Jackson has got a lot over there too.
They do. They build like affordable
housing. That's what
like
they call it now. They don't call it projects.
So
they just call it affordable housing.
They push them out of where they live.
They look nice.
That's the thing. Is the difference is they are new. They're nice.
They're nice. Yeah. And what it is
they're not big, but they're nice.
What it is they put you can't tell the difference. Like you don't know what's building.
It is
because
like literally
unless you live in.
Because I was trying to I was literally trying to like rent one out, but I couldn't do it because I priced out. You know what I'm saying? Because I unfortunately wasn't.
Is our government and our council doing the right thing?
I mean, look, these projects.
Our area.
No,
are they doing the right thing?
This has always been in place, though. Like this has kind of always been happening.
Are they doing the right thing?
This isn't anything really new.
About the growth,
about how they going about doing this.
I mean, if they would have left Mayor Berry there, I mean, we would have been further along. But I mean, that's it.
Because I'm saying, like even with Murfreesboro, like Greg said, they pushing them out.
Think they doing the right thing?
No, it's like this. People, because it comes to that thing. Well, it's wrong. Gentrification is wrong because you're getting rid of all the poor, certain people, but it's always labeled as just black people.
But they pushed them out and gave them somewhere to stay.
They didn't give them. I mean, it's not give them. I mean, it's more of
gave them an opportunity.
It's relocation.
But see,
refortification, right?
The difference is
it wasn't even reformable.
No, this
shit has a
all of it has. So they kicked them out.
It digs into a deeper issue. There's not enough of this.
Them out.
It ain't to replace them. That's what the thing is.
There's not enough of the housing. Like you can push out all these people, but there's not enough housing that's affordable for all of them to go live.
Right.
That's why so many of them still struggle. That's why people are still packed up in homes. That's why they end up just having to move and congregate like 10 people into a house. You know what I'm saying? Because
or they get their credit messed up by keep not being able to
pay
get
for that
somewhere, and they get there and they have to move here, got to move here, and then people who move. That's what that situation is. So are they doing the right thing? Hell no.
And I mean, on paper, technically, they're trying, but they're not trying hard enough. There's not enough. Because the truth is, there's not enough people to keep building all these places. There's not enough people actively. And they also don't have enough projects in place to do it. Like in certain cities, Murfreesboro is continuously trying to build and add that. But really, we kind of beat this one. We kind of need to kill this.
Yeah.
But we did want to go back to
what I was gonna say is that we should just give it up to God.
Yeah, because I mean, that's
there you go.
That is what the plan is for so many of them.
And
is that like no, and that kind of goes into what we were going to talk about next. Right. And it was like for a lot of people who do, and it's controversial in most communities as far as going to church. And a lot of people, you say, we're going to leave it up to God, or I'm going to just pray on this. And you were trying to bring up the question of what?
Like, whose prayer is worth answering? You know, how does he come about choosing what prayer to answer? Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure, everybody pray about something, and if they do, I'm pretty sure. And what is it that you should pray about? What is it that you should really be praying about? You know, because I think a lot of it is people get it's just who's prayer. It's like more like this. Like I was saying earlier.
Offset.
I see more people say God answered my prayer on a light bill and gas bill than I see them answering any other type of prayer.
You talking about
like oh, God came through and did this, and when does he really come through and do something that you probably could have did yourself? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Or you couldn't do. Where is the real miracle?
Yeah, because you're talking about like that's tangible. That's something you can actually physically go fix and change yourself. Like for me, it's like I always say I don't like to pray on tangible things. I pray every day, really do. I don't go to church like I should, but I do pray every day.
Thank God for this cup of coffee.
It's sort of like, but I do. I thank God for being here, being blessed, and having a life and opportunities to even go do anything else. And to have a chance to even put on the podcast, which thanks for all the new subscribers. I can't believe I didn't actually even say that at some point in time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate all the support to the channel. I'll probably add that in at the beginning at some point in time. Yeah, because I just need to. That was great. Thank you for the support.
Big really boost.
But it does go back to like answering prayers and whatnot. I don't want to pray on tangible things. Like I don't pray for like, I really hope the podcast gets to 1 million subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Like that seems silly to me. Like for me,
that's work.
That's work.
Yeah, that's work.
I had this idea in my mind, like miracles and praying is supposed to be for miracles, things that you desperately need, things you cannot control.
Right. You can't do nothing about it.
No, that's why you pray. And then when great things come through for certain people, they feel like my prayers were answered.
Yeah.
And I understand how they feel like that. But you're like, there's plenty of people that,
they don't get answered.
Well, and a lot of praying when it comes to praying and believing in God and having faith through Christ, a lot of this is just within you. What do you really believe? And my thing is I believe in Christ by faith. And it's a lot of question marks when it comes to the church itself, and what's really going on. And it's just like I say, I'm not here to say, because it's just question marks to me, because some things I don't get, because it seems like a lot of churches teach about God, and you got the prosperity people, and I was thinking about my cousin. I said this too. I said I said I'm gonna call my prosperity cousin, because he is never gonna say nothing bad to you, even knowing he could say something bad to you, but he gonna say it to a nice way. So that's kind of like prosperity preach. They never really gonna give you the harsh truth, but they gonna give it to you in a nice way.
I don't know if you talk to enough.
But I'm saying, Lee don't talk to you, that. But
it depends on the level that you're at. So that's the one thing about
now if you just in some deep doo-doo or something.
If you crossed over, then he gonna tell you exactly.
But he was trying to give you some input. Yeah, I just
But I feel you.
Yeah, that's it. Just because he do try to be nice. But
shout out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bleep out his name every time.
Right. Yeah.
But on top of that though, like I said, but the churches to me, they do seem like and it's kind of deeper than what Greg was saying. It was more about, is the black churches kind of selling the black community short? Was it more like that?
No, it was more
the question that I proposed.
Yeah, that was
has black people been held back by Christianity?
Held back.
Yeah.
And they have, and I do believe you have to ask. I mean, this goes back to so many different things. It's like, again, I don't know what kind of religion we came over here with, but whatever the religion we doing now was installed upon us. Whatever this we doing now was installed upon us, because this did not come. Yeah, it was not. We didn't bring this across the ocean with us. You see what I'm saying?
He's saying this was brainwashed. These,
I'm just saying,
not even really brainwashed. These teachings came from other people. They were influenced by people who weren't us.
So the people that gave us this religion, did they even follow that religion?
No.
It was just what they was doing. Yeah, they followed.
Then why did they give us the religion?
Because that's what they followed.
Because honestly, no.
But did they follow that religion?
No, because
they did.
the people,
Because
the people who are smart enough to realize that if you give people a conniption inside of their mind that causes them to restrain themselves and refrain from being more than what they are, you will have power over them indefinitely.
Well, I'll say this, just to keep it religious.
Right.
The word of God in the Bible is to spread the word of God. So it doesn't talk about color, origin, anything like that when it comes to that. They want you to spread the word of God. So why wouldn't they teach it to the people even though they were enslaved? You want to spread the word of God. It's hypocritical considering they getting beaten, getting lashes and stuff like that. But we're like, in the name of Jesus, don't worry. Things follow the teachings. These are the things that you should do.
They was indoctrinated.
Yeah.
A perfect example
Just
is the
in
movie.
A technical way that they did.
The movie, The Book of Eli.
Love that movie.
If you ever seen that movie,
That is Dad's favorite movie.
The Book of
Might
Eli.
be. I love that. Yeah.
I didn't even know
Because
you had watched.
it explains it all.
Right.
Because
Walk
there is
by
no
faith, not by sight.
That wasn't what that was. It was about how you
exactly.
can control people with the word. That's
I know, but
that's what it
You're
was
gonna
about.
mess around and
But
say the
anywho,
same thing. Keep going.
he did.
You trying to
do that.
Just go ahead.
But I'm just saying, if you watch the Book of Eli, it'll show you how if you give this word, indoctrinate and make this mystery with this, you know what I'm saying? And everybody know about it.
Yeah.
Hear about it, but they got the book. But when it was in Braille, that's what else. You got to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Just got to watch the movie though.
Walk by faith, not by sight.
It is.
And
what
when he
was
got that book,
There's more to that line.
that he had to make it that journey. And he needed to make that journey to remember this, because when he actually had to repeat it, he had to know it in his mind.
See, that's a misunderstanding of the movie. Because
It's
the
not.
Book of Eli,
It's not.
The Book of Eli,
based on any principle I've heard that.
The Book of Eli was him, his journey.
Yeah.
It's the book of belief. Eli belief. The overall message is the book
You just
of
keep
belief.
trying
But he couldn't tell what it was because he didn't even know how to read Braille. He didn't know how to read Braille, so he had to be. He was
reading it in the process of the movie, and he was reading
Yeah,
it.
he knew how to read Braille.
He just had to remember it.
He
How
had
you
to,
gonna remember something you don't even know how to read?
You got
because
two
you
people who are
have
telling
faith.
you that
You have
it was
strong faith.
But
And he couldn't even see it.
At the end, if you see, they asked him to dictate it, and
Next
he
week,
made up the whole thing in his head.
Next week on the WTB, we're going to be doing a movie
We're gonna
review.
look
Yeah.
at the book of Eli.
The Book of Eli. We gotta go check it out.
Watch the book of Eli again. I'll watch it.
So,
Yeah. I'm telling you, you got to. That's how I say.
Yeah, okay.
See,
Okay.
That was how I took it.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that's how I took it.
Apparently.
We might need to all watch that one together, just so
Yeah.
because I feel
but
like
somebody could correct some wrong.
yeah, I mean, that way we can get it like
I don't
a.
think that's how that went down, Greg. They ended up going to like that book printer place or whatever, and then they like printed off like copies of the Bible, the equivalent of the Bible, based off what he was able to read. And
And they couldn't do nothing with it.
right,
They couldn't do nothing with the book.
But Greg does have a
Because it
valid
was in
point
Braille.
of the overall theme of the book.
He couldn't
or
do
theme of
nothing
the
with
movie
it.
was supposed to be like pro-religious, but
It was the Book of Eli.
Eli, I
him.
get what Greg's saying. He could definitely, since he's the only one that knows how to read Braille and understand Braille,
Yeah.
he could of course omit or
Do what he wants to with it. How he want
whatever,
to.
right, in whatever manner he understands it. So
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay, yeah, you needed somebody to break that down a little bit better. So that's what that is.
right,
I get that.
I disagree.
Now that, Well, I gotta watch this movie, and I'm gonna let y'all know exactly.
But we're assuming in the movie that he's.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen
reciting the whole book by faith, but word for word.
Because he was sent on a journey, and he will be protected on this journey all the way.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying in that whole journey, he kept reading the Bible, and you didn't know.
That's all he knows.
Yeah.
So I don't think. But Greg does bring a valid point.
So he had to reinterpret the whole thing.
He could.
It was a myth.
Yeah, what she's basically saying is going back to religion here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just been stuff that it don't matter.
It just
like y'all can't convince me that I'll do it. I'll go on this ledge. Mormonism ain't real. Mormonism is not real.
Ain't that the dude?
I'm about to have beef with like a billion Mormons. I'm about to be hunted down by the whole of Utah.
What about
it's me versus
Amishism?
Amishism.
That's fine.
You said that's what Amishism?
No, Mormonism. Amishism. That's more akin to
like this. Okay,
let me just say this. So what is real?
Well,
reality.
What's real?
What we
when
really
we talking about when it comes to the Bible,
what's real is this right here. Stick your hand out.
And all
Let me
that.
show you what's real.
What's real in
Stick your hand out. Right here. Stick it out like that. See, that's real. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's real.
I'm asking,
everything
so you don't believe in God?
Oh, I believe in the holy God. Heck yeah, I believe in God.
That's what I'm asking. So what's real?
Look,
but I can't believe that he would allow. It's got to be spiritual.
Okay, what's real?
That's why it comes. Look, it comes on the basis of whatever religion you believe. That's why there's a gajillion different religions. Everybody believes what they want to ultimately believe at the end of the day. Right. It's just a lot of people. Basically, at the end of the day, a lot of religion is the same. People just fight over the logistics of it. That's really it, and the basic nuances to what they believe at the end of the day. Everybody believes in a higher power in these religions. Something is above. Something is looking over us. Something is guiding us to teach us and go about our lives a certain way. And a lot of them are a lot of the same thing. They're just rewritten in different ways, and different people are put in place for other guys, and that's it. A lot of things are just subbed out. A lot of the same rhetoric
overall
is taught.
Right.
But it's mostly about the same thing, about a faith and a journey with God or Allah, Buddha, whatever
or within
thing,
yourself,
whatever entity you believe in.
Right.
Let me tell you something else too. You know what? Something else too.
What?
People are. If you take, say you put just take a whole bunch of people, put them in a room, and from day one, just put them in there. They can either get along. You know what I'm saying? It is a. How can I say this?
Take your time.
I think things like the Bible and the Torah and the other one do offer very important and compelling stories. Yeah, Quran of humanity and the things that we will and won't do to each other. The understanding that we can find within each other and the companionship and community, as well as the rage, the anger, the hatred, and all that. Like the story of Cain and Abel. That is a good, clear example of two people who had no reason to ever hate each other or dislike each other or anything like that, but just simply because of the fact that one was jealous of the other, that allowed Cain to kill Abel, right? Right. So it does more in the sense, to me, of offer insight into how people think and feel.
How things can actually happen.
Right.
But honestly, people are enamoredly know how to do the right thing and the wrong thing. They should already know that. It's just like it should be. It's just it should be. Most people know not to go kill nobody. I ain't got to tell you.
If it ain't in you, you probably would do that,
right? That's why it's like, when people say, we go down these faith and
so it's in you.
These faith journeys and going to church and whatnot. And it's like, they go to church. They're supposed to know better. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's constantly taught.
Right.
Like church.
But they're going to church.
That's the point. They're going to church. It's indoctrination. You're being taught this. So you're supposed to know better on a daily basis
to
react better. But the problem is, and that's why people who go to church and the people who don't criticize those who do, because they see how these people act versus how most of them act. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you see a lot of people who go to church and they're the worst behaving human beings. You can find out
the holy rollers.
Y'all judging folks.
Like I said, we've been in church for 2 hours.
How y'all come to that conclusion? It sounds like y'all judging.
But
y'all judging people.
It's not a conclusion.
It's not a conclusion. That's why participation is down in
jealous of church folks.
This is why participation is down in church.
Right.
And that's and that's why a lot of people don't go.
That's why most communal churches are going under. That, and that's not only that's happening, but that is a part of that gentrification that I don't like to talk about. That's happening too, because most our communal churches was in our inner city.
They were in,
and now if they gone, and the people is gone, that whole thing is gone.
Oh, there's no church.
Yeah, there's no church no more.
I want to just say, to me, it's hard. It's just like I always say, religion to me is like a recipe. And God had a specific recipe for everybody. And we supposed to go by this recipe that's put in the Bible. And pretty much when you decide to divert from the recipe that was in there for us to follow, then you take some away. And then this is what we really preaching today in these churches. And like I said, and I'm like this, it came from somewhere, but I do know what's being taught, and how it's being taught is not the recipe God put in place for us.
How you gonna say that though?
But okay, if you're taking something from like the recipe, what are they taking?
It's just like you're not following the recipe. It's just like I said, it's like the way you
throwing a little bit of cream freeze.
Yeah, it's like you picking and choosing what you want to preach out the Bible.
Right.
You know, just like I said, you can be a prosperity preacher where you just preaching joy and happiness and everything great. Don't matter if you land on the ground, you finna jump right back up. Just give yourself a minute. I know you're gonna do it, and I'm gonna show you. And now all of a sudden you jump up off the ground. Look at him. You just saw. You know what I mean? But it's just like saying you can give that type of.
Okay, they used to teach everything of that recipe. They used to show you the whole recipe of that book that used to exist.
But what I'm saying, that's just a part. It's just like you can make your own. They making their own recipe.
Yeah, but sometimes.
But God got specific recipe things He wants you to follow and teach and preach. That's not necessarily on the forefront of being taught. These are not the ones you want to hit on or talk about. You want to talk about the things that make people feel good. Yeah. And like I said, you don't want to come in and start busting heads like we need to, you got the miniskirt on in church. Why we got that to cut off the cleavage all out to everybody? You taking away from something there.
You don't watch too much internet.
But I'm saying I don't want to teach that in my church. Because I'm lose some of the women that's in here because a lot, if they dress like that. So I'm not saying anything. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So, but then that's obvious something that should be addressed, but that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. You're saying that appropriate wear to church attire, that's what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying anything that takes away from the recipe of what.
So how would you figure that would that take away from the recipe?
Yeah, because just like I just said, I'm just using it for example.
He said, "Come as you are."
Okay, and it also says some other things too. But
come as you are, come as you are.
But you're supposed to dress in a certain manner, not to take away or
But is that in actual scripture?
Yes.
You're supposed to dress appropriate.
Yeah, it gives you a certain way.
Nah, that's one of them.
Greg,
that's one of them Southern Baptist preachers. No,
about all that. But what I do know,
is
that in the year 2157, we will come in contact with some bird-like people from space, then by 2186, the Reapers will come.
2186. That's like how many years from there?
Was it 2186?
Yeah, 86.
How many years?
So can I still get my 360 deal?
2186 is 163 years.
Okay. I'll be dead.
So can I get that 360 deal?
I ain't gotta go through.
Right, yeah.
Hey, that 360 deal.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna be gone by then.
Right.
But
I'll be gone.
Just in case.
But you can't. I'm telling you, sometimes
I just think that's based on what you believe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you can't put that on everybody else.
That's not, you can't,
because those are very specific Christian beliefs.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
that don't mean that's in the recipe book to make my biscuits taste good.
That's what I'm saying, but that's y'all's recipe. And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and that goes
that's
into
your
that
recipe.
Because
that's not God's recipe.
I'm saying whatever he specifically asked us to follow.
That's what I'm saying.
That necessarily ain't being followed at all times.
And I'm just saying that's based on what you believe, because that's not the only religion. There's so many other religions.
And that's not the only recipe.
Yeah, that's what
I'm saying. Everybody conducts themselves according to whatever they've been doing for years. That's like even the how it branched off from the Catholic Church.
Too. You
how
got
the
to
religion,
realize
and then it was
the means of church has changed. Now, it might not be to the way of likings, but the means of way of church has changed.
Word never changes.
Things evolve. If you stay,
you trying to tell me that book ain't never changed?
It's supposed to not.
God's word. You trying to tell me?
I'm saying I can't speak for what changed.
The interpretation has changed 1,000 times.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's one more?
There's always a New Testament. That's a new change.
That's what I'm saying. So the way they go about doing it, it's not even indicative to the old folks.
So,
what you talking about?
So
like the whole issue.
So what do you think about the churches today?
The churches today, I think it's more of a business. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what God intended for it to be.
Business.
No, but that's what humanity made it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Exactly. We ain't keeping to the recipe.
But that's
and then you wonder why
the church ain't
it's not having success.
The church, it is having success. That's the whole thing.
Some of them are based on individual success because maybe greed.
Because once again, this thought process is this process is thought based on what you believe.
Yeah, right. Because I mean,
like I said, that's a problem within the Christian religion. That's not a problem with all humanity or people. That's just the Christian.
Yeah, religion. They out here. They done went through a
Christian
bad
church.
Yeah, they done went through a bad little rough time lately because they've been out here doing foul stuff. You know what I'm saying? People have been like they have.
Yeah, no, I mean stealing from the congregation.
Yeah,
I mean
all kinds of. But see again. Individual's problem becomes the whole effort's issue. You see what I'm saying? Now you got 1, 2, 3 bad preachers. That don't mean the other 900 is bad.
No,
you see what I'm saying? But these were so terrible, it makes these 900 look suspicious.
No. It makes the ones that do it look suspicious.
No, it makes them look suspicious.
Because, like I said, that's why I'm not gonna judge you if I don't know you.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, I have a perfect example.
Okay.
People always place this on the Catholic priests and all that about touching kids.
Yeah.
Only a handful of priests out of all the priests that have ever been Catholic have done that.
Yeah.
So, but there's a stigma now attached to if you're a Catholic priest,
you may
touch boys. Yeah.
And Baptist preachers like little young girls
and steal the money.
Yeah, and steal money. That's what they do. It's just a reputation.
So that's just the role of the church now.
The truth is this: anytime the pastor gets anything new,
something is up.
They got a look on their face.
Yeah.
But what if the pastor got a job?
Then why should they be looking at him sideways?
They shouldn't if he have a job.
That's an individual
That's
problem.
your money.
But they do.
You doing what you want with your money. But now when they looking at you sideways is when you at the church.
When you start
and you don't have that job,
church,
and all of a sudden you just getting all these lavish vehicles and stuff,
but
big old house. I would kind of wonder, like, pastor.
You could also be money laundering.
But let me ask you a question.
I just wonder.
But isn't it said?
But if you use your own money for it,
isn't it said if you give your soul to the kingdom, the God will give to you?
All I'm saying.
So if he actually a preacher, right? I'm just saying.
If it was my own money,
I'm just saying. This guy give his soul. I don't know. No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
He give his soul and start preaching, and good things start happening. Why would
I'm not
I look?
saying you can
That's
prosper,
what you just said.
But I just
He got
I
all of a
don't-
sudden got a
but
big
I would-
house.
But I wouldn't want to go out here and get lavish gifts. I'm saying, yeah, I'm gonna probably go get me a nice ride. I don't have to go get a Lamborghini.
No,
I don't have to
preachers
get
don't. A Rolls Royce,
a Tesla, or whatever. I can
Royce.
go out and get me a nice, just SUV, nice little photo sedan, and I'm living a good life.
So
But
you,
see, that's it.
so
With
you,
a decent
so
modest
you're
house.
preaching at a small, modest church.
No,
That's what you're
don't
saying.
matter. I'm saying
That's what you're
I'm
saying.
probably gonna approach
No,
it that way.
but-
I don't want
But
to go
your
out here and
congregation
get a
ain't
house so
gonna let
big.
that happen to you.
I don't want to get a house so
It ain't
big. I'm
got
scared
nothing to do
live
with
in it.
you.
Right.
That's what
But
I'm saying. It ain't got nothing to
But
do with
if it
you.
was your money,
It ain't got nothing
if
to do
it
with
was
you.
your money,
congregation
you
takes
can
care
get
of the
whatever
preacher.
you want.
But
I wouldn't take the
here's the other
church's
thing.
money.
So here's the other thing, Dad.
Yeah,
Joel Osteen, right? The guy with the mega church.
Yeah.
yeah.
Joel Osteen is in a community of very rich, highly successful
Yeah.
people. So, of course, Joel Osteen, by being the leader of the community and all that, has to also, in a degree, represent
The leader of the community.
the leader of the community. So, if everybody's hopping out in Rolls Royces and BMWs and stuff like that, he's got to hop out in the Bugatti or something like that. To
I'm not
signify-
doing it.
You're not.
You're not.
But
You're not,
And see,
and you're not gonna be the one
Also-
that they see as that one because most ones they seem to the people do that out of generosity.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with you. What you gonna want to get? That's what I'm saying. If that church want to go buy that preacher a car, they could go buy that preacher a car.
this is also based on you and some other people who would agree with you, because you're not the only person who would have this opinion about this, but this comes down to how you personally feel about how they should be represented.
Right.
This is an aesthetics thing. This is based on visuals. This is based on optics, how people care about the image of the pastor. So he has to live a life where he just doesn't
means
enjoy stuff
where-
that other
right.
people get to
Right.
enjoy because he's the pastor. He devotes all his time. I mean, and gives all
Pastor
this.
McCarroll got one of the biggest houses on Osborne. You think he don't deserve it?
I don't know if his house that big.
I know. I see him walking up and down the road every day.
Isn't that the one with like the monster truck outside?
No.
I know
They
his
got
stuff.
other tanker.
That's tanker. The tankers.
Yeah.
But
Nah,
I'm just
that's
saying,
a different. You're a preacher too.
that's what I'm saying. So he don't.
Yeah, but but he also is an award-winning artist. He plays jazz music.
Yeah, I mean, that's kinda where the-
But he
he's
got a
made-
church. He ain't
and
had a record in 20 years.
He just, I mean, it don't matter. He
He
made
ain't,
money
he ain't
doing
making
that
no
does
more
matter.
money
It
off
does
that
matter.
jazz
it
album.
does because he writes songs. It's
No,
not- yeah.
It does matter when you produce, because it don't matter if you produce. If there's nobody buying it, it don't
Yeah,
matter.
he made money doing this.
I hope so.
But the point
But do we-
being,
yeah.
I guarantee you, his congregation flattens it, be buying his wife all kinds of gifts, all
Hey.
kinds of things. That's the
There's a lot of
congregation.
people that go to
That's
that
what
church.
they do to
And
their
I'm
preacher.
saying, and
If
I'll
they
forward
respect
that
they
towards
treat, if they
something.
respect they preacher and they respect the first lady in that church, and they feel like the people in that church feel like they doing it, they gonna take care of that preacher.
They do.
That's what they supposed to
But
do.
what I'm saying, with that being said, I can still take whatever they giving to me and I can forward it to something else and use it. I don't have
It's
to
their
take.
gift.
I don't have to take a
Hey,
Lamborghini
you
and
the
park
only
it
one
in my
that would
life.
say,
I'm
no,
not
thank you.
gonna do that.
I'm gonna give it back there, and you know what?
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
I can't.
You're not
do
gonna.
it.
You're not gonna be the preacher.
Okay, well, I won't be.
That's
'cause
what
I
I'm
can-
saying. You don't understand
I
the
just
concept
can't
of being
have
a
a
preacher.
Lambo. I'm sorry.
But again, you supposed to.
See,
That's supposed to
you
be.
don't take your Lambo.
a gift.
It's just not-
That's
it's not-
supposed to be how a preacher who gives his life to pass the word. He's supposed to see the prize like that.
I just don't think this is a realistic expectation for somebody. It's like not being able to really sit foot in this person's like shoes. This is showing no empathy for that person or that position at all. To think that that's the way they should live. Like, yeah, a modest life, but it's almost like
Right.
they're why should they
Modesty and
personally put
humbleness.
themselves in poverty
Yeah.
almost?
Right.
No,
Like-
nobody said poverty.
But like, so what do you? So what's the point?
Poverty
of
is like, I don't want
So what you want the
anything.
preacher
No,
not to have a
I
better
want to
car
live
than
a
you?
modest and humble life.
Why can't he be humble and have a nice car?
I did say I want a nice
No,
car. I
no,
didn't want a
Why it has to be
Lambo.
what you want to have?
I don't want a Bentley.
But why not?
If your congregation can afford to give you one, you wouldn't take it.
I wouldn't want that. What if it doesn't change your character as an individual?
I really wouldn't want that.
But it would.
Huh?
But it would.
I don't need that.
Hey,
I really don't need that.
It would have changed what?
Most
it would change your.
I wouldn't need it. I wouldn't need that
again,
to feel.
What I'm trying to say
I can't say that's for everyone.
It wouldn't work for me. I would want something less.
Like I said, we're trying to get you to not individual. We're trying to get you to understand this is an individual argument that you're making.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're the only preacher that would probably say, I don't really want those gifts.
Yeah, that's it.
Because that's kind of disrespectful if the preacher don't want the gift.
Like it is, and a lot of cultures, like if you don't accept gifts, it's actually an insult to the people. Like
they celebrate the preacher. If that preacher do a good job, they go out there, give him $10,000.
All these black people in this church came together, put some money up to buy you this damn BMW.
And you don't even want it? No. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know what? Reverend Bob Gibby want it. You fired.
So that makes me a bad person.
It makes you a disingenuous.
No,
when I say disingenuous, when I say disingenuous, if they're not gonna trust you. They're not gonna trust you as a preacher. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Because
I don't want to drive the
right church.
One mic.
The right church is not gonna trust you.
Great.
Help me on this.
You can't just say whatever as a redefinition of that word. That's not what that means.
They not gonna trust him.
Okay, but that's not what you said.
I say they gonna look at him as being disingenuous.
This is what I mean. That's not the same. No, they're not gonna look at him as trustworthy. Just simple.
They not.
That's not being disingenuous. It's just they might not look at him as trustworthy. I just think they look at him as ungrateful.
That too.
That's mostly the thing.
Ungrateful.
Because of lack of appreciation.
People get you stuff because they really appreciate it.
Same way that what's a good example?
No, say you got your wife something really nice on the anniversary, right?
Right. And she's like,
and you spend a lot of money on it.
I'm saying
effort and money.
Money and time. You took all out all over the town.
I'm just saying, to me, I feel like that's over the top.
But this is what happens.
I want to feel like disingenuous, like whatever it may be. I'm just saying, I don't feel like I want something of that value. You wouldn't
feel like you deserve nothing like that?
I would want that.
You wouldn't. If you don't feel like you don't deserve stuff.
I mean, yeah, I want, but modest.
You shouldn't approach it with the idea that you deserve it, but you should be appreciative of the fact that you've even.
If you go to work, if you put it out there, and somebody bring it to you, I'm gonna be like, you know what? It's not again.
I just got a bunch of money in the bank account. Not used.
It's not the correct word,
right?
But
appreciative.
If I wouldn't be appreciative,
I would never say I wouldn't be appreciative. I'm just saying,
you can't say you're appreciative if you don't accept it.
I'm saying
that's how
I
you
would
show
want
appreciation.
Some of that value for. It's just like I say, I don't feel comfortable. That probably make me feel a little uncomfortable being in that position.
I'll give you a small world example, right?
That's being involved.
Greg, talking to the mic.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
No, you're never. We can't pick up what you're saying.
I'm listening.
You can go ahead and go.
No. He was saying that it wouldn't. What'd you say? It wouldn't. You wouldn't want it because of what?
It would make him feel uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. Owning something that somebody gave you something like that, and then them giving it to you, and you would just feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just think that's a little bit too much. I mean, you're just like I said, some things I would rather see that go towards somebody that can do something. You can take that money and utilize it and put it towards something to help somebody. This car, once you give it to me, it's finna depreciate anyway.
You a great man. I'm just saying. You built a greatness. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, all humanism, like you said, being a man, like you said,
no gifts.
Yeah. I mean, that's Jesus like to me. That's what Jesus say. I mean, really, I'm humble. I don't want anything. I don't want nothing. It's like to say, I just want to serve.
No, it's like literally to say, eventually say you started making money on the platform, right? Then you start devoting all sorts of hours to the platform, trying to create content, but you don't accept any of the money.
360 deal.
We don't accept the money.
That's
here.
it.
We don't.
That's
we just
why
somehow keep our channel going.
No. What it is what he's saying is
well,
he could be the lead and we could get the most money because he would not be comfortable accepting it over us.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Yeah, I guess.
Sure.
We can have the Lamborghini. He can drive the Toyota.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
As long as
he
it's a
wouldn't
brand
be
new,
comfortable riding in our Lamborghinis.
Right,
you see what I'm saying? He wouldn't be comfortable in our Lamborghini. So we gonna get him a Toyota Prius.
Oh man,
Nah, I ain't gonna do that.
He wouldn't want nothing.
That's why I said Greg go to the extreme.
That's not extreme.
No, hey, I want the SUV, but I don't have to get the Bugatti version.
No,
you know
we get you a little Ford Explorer, another nice little Ford Explorer. We'll put some 22s on it or something.
Give me the new Jeep,
and we'll let you park next to our Lamborghini.
Sponsored by Genesis. Get them the Genesis GV80.
Yeah, that
like
QV.
No. Then he said he didn't want no BMW.
No, I don't have to get.
So he either want a Hyundai, one of them Hyundai
that's reliable.
Hey, one mic.
Okay.
No, you can go ahead and go.
Okay. I just need a vehicle that's reliable, up to date. I'm good to go. I don't want all that. I don't care how much money I had. I don't think I just be wanting to drive.
He take the Kia SUV.
I don't want to drive the Lambo.
The Kia Soul.
The Kia SUV with no sunroof because you don't want nothing fancy.
I want my sunroof.
And manual windows. No air conditioning.
Now Greg putting labels
now because he don't want nobody to think nothing.
No, I want all of the amenities on there. But I take that Kia or whatever. I take that. But I got to have all the amenities on that.
All of a sudden he up in it now.
Yeah, I'm up in it. I couldn't drive.
What was it, the Volkswagen Jetta or like the bus or not the Jetta? What was the old Volkswagen bus? That'll be ripping the hippie bus.
Nah, I ain't do it because it's too big. I can't have nothing that long either.
Man.
Yeah,
like you said, one of them Kia Souls. You know,
hey, don't worry. Eventually, church is going to turn to AI, and you'll just have an AI preacher, an AI church with an AI congregation.
Allen Iverson, my preacher.
That's it. That's what you'll have. And he can be your preacher in that AI congregation. Yeah. He could be out there. They could put his face up there with the the clothes.
He be saying his stuff.
And he'll sound just like Allen Iverson. Yeah. They'll eventually be able to do that. So,
or Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
Oh man,
you know what?
Would you go to the church of Michael Jordan?
Because people, we don't have any regulations.
I know we done lost it then.
Because we don't have any regulations on
Jesus
AI.
Christ and Latter-day Michael Jordan.
What about the church of Barack Obama?
No, I go there. I'm going. I'm a tithe in that church.
So did we figure out something that's going to happen in the future with AI? They're going to come out a bunch of AI churches. With like different.
Well, they kind of do it now because you ain't even.
Not AI church. They don't do that yet.
I was at
they give a little
they do live stream.
Yeah, they do live streaming now. You don't have to leave the house now. So eventually, the preacher ain't even got to go no more.
I got to stop you. I can't let you for a second moderately confuse AI with internet.
With live streaming?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm just saying they hate that direction.
Is say everything that we put on the screen earlier, none of those people were real. None of that stuff was real. It was just created by digital formatting.
Is that what them Trackhawk trucks be looking like to be going down the road, popping wheelies and?
I think that might be real, but no. AI is literally like the Trump photos that we posted. Yeah. That's AI.
Okay, I have seen.
That you wouldn't drive a Trackhawk.
No, that's too fancy.
Yeah, the very like 1,000 horsepower.
You know what? Jeep. I would buy me a brand new Jeep.
He needs a Chevy.
The 4x4.
What you should get is
a Nissan Frontier.
Not a Jeep. A Grand Wagoneer.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
That's the car
Now,
for
Jay,
Dad right
now
there.
you want me to
Grand
open the
Wagoneer.
hand up over here. I'm driving
Grand
this
Wagoneer.
old. What's that? The Grid Falls. Ain't that what they were trying?
Yeah, but those are that they're not luxurious,
Oh,
but more
good
reliable
Lord.
and well
Same
built.
way.
Oh, you talking about
Grand
the new
Wagoneer.
Jeep?
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh, the new.
Yeah.
That's not
Okay.
Jeep.
Hey,
I take that back. Yeah, they are nice. They are.
Right.
Them things brand new cost some money.
Hey, we're gonna wrap.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna
it's
go ahead and
crazy,
wrap it.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we've extended this long
Yeah,
enough.
it's crazy. Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in to us, guys, on the WTB. Thanks once again. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast or the channel. Once again, we really appreciate all the new subscribers. Hopefully, you like the content if you decided to tune in. And man, we'll be hollering back at you. Peace.
Peace.
Holla at your boy.
Hi, thanks for watching. If you liked that video, please hit the button below and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way, and well, we have goals around here. I'm trying to make it to 1 million. Thanks for listening.